I'm going to talk to you exactly about what I mean by eating how you want, training how you want, and not having to restrict yourself. Now, you've probably been on many diets, many workout regimens, and all of these methods will work, but they only work for so long. And so at this point, it's not about finding what the right method is that's going to work for you in the short term. It's about finding the right method that is going to work for you for the long term. And that is why I'm going to give you guys a visual of exactly what I mean by this. So, kind of coming into this board, I have the zero restriction method. And this is something that, frankly, I teach all of my clients in order for them to sustain their fitness, in order to sustain and maintain their weight once they have gotten to goal. And so what I see a lot is that, we work so hard in order to lose the weight, and only to gain it back. So instead of doing that, let's actually figure out how to go from diet to understanding to actual food freedom. Because at the end of the day, ladies, it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to you being able to do this day in, day out, week in, week out, and sustain this for life. This is not short term. This is not something that you do for 3 months and then you're done. No, it is actually understanding nutrition at a deeper level, understanding your goals at a deeper level, and what's actually going to keep you going. So, at this point, you should grab a pen, you should grab some paper, have a nice drink on the side. We are going to dive into this. And the first thing that we're going to go over is nutrition. So nutrition is 80% of your results, okay? And in order to achieve great results, you have to have great nutrition. So a lot of us think that we need a diet, right? And so dieting is actually the mistake. It's the biggest mistake we make all the time. We get on a diet, we aren't able to keep it, and so we ditch it. So if you're looking at this, diet is something you have to ditch. In order to have a zero restriction method, you have to ditch the diet first. So on your paper, I want you to set it up the way I have it. And what you're going to do is we're going to say ditch the diet. So we're ditching it, okay? Now, another thing you need to think about, and I hope you can see that, another thing you need to think about is, okay, so I've ditched the diet, but how am I supposed to lose weight if I don't have a diet to follow? Simple. You need to actually understand where you're at, where you want to be, how much weight you want to lose, how much inches you want to lose. And then from there, you can actually craft a plan that allows you that food freedom that we talked about. So again, on your notepad, I want you to write down, know your numbers. Okay? So know your numbers. What does this mean? Knowing your numbers means two things. You need to figure out what your basal metabolic rate is, and that is the number of calories your body burns at rest. Number two, you need to figure out what your maintenance calories are, the amount of calories that you would eat if you wanted to stay the exact same weight. Now, both of these numbers are crucial. Why are they crucial? Because your sweet spot, your winning ticket to weight loss and keeping it off is finding the number right in between those two, above your BMR and below your maintenance. So you're going to have your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And actually, I'm going to put this more at the bottom because we want to have it from the bottom to the top. So you have your maintenance, and then you have your BMR. Okay. So you have your maintenance and you have your BMR, right? It is your job right here to actually figure out, okay, I need to find what my calorie deficit is, because it's right in between here, you guys. If you are doing what most of us have done in the past, which is why we continually fail. It's that you are shooting so below here. Everybody is here. And that's why you're not losing weight, or if you are, you're super unhappy. You're also losing muscle tissue because if you're below here BMR, you're losing lean body tissue, which is going to have a direct effect on your metabolism and how fast it performs. If you want a fast metabolism, if you want to actually have muscle and that tone look, which basically is muscle, then you have to be in this center, you guys. And most, I want to say 9 out of 10 of the women that I work with, they always are below their BMR and they don't even know it. And so when they don't get results, they cut more calories. And then they still don't get results, they cut more calories. And it becomes this vicious cycle of dieting and then binging, and then dieting and then binging. So we want to prevent a binge. We want to break the yo-yo dieting cycle. Okay? And so right here, I can spell, yep. Cycle, there we go. Okay, so ladies, this is what you should be writing down. So hopefully you can see that. My handwriting is progressively getting worse. So I hope you at least get that down in your handwriting. But this is what I'm talking about. So you have your diet. We want to ditch the diet. We want to prevent binging, and we want to break the yo-yo cycle. But first, we have to move into the understanding of it all. We have to understand that knowing our numbers means we have 2 different numbers to know, our BMR and our maintenance. And then from there, it's figuring out this very nice little sweet spot that's going to allow us to lose fat and retain or build muscle, which also is going to allow us to have a faster metabolism. And that's what it's all about. It's about jacking up your metabolism so you can have more, you guessed it, food freedom. So when you have a fast metabolism, you have a lot more flexibility. Now, food freedom comes from a concept of flexible dieting, which means you get to include all the foods you love, but you also are smart about how you are arranging that for yourself. So with food freedom, I want you to think of the 80-20 rule. Okay? Now, 80-20 rule, what does that mean? And okay. 80-20 rule, all right? 80-20 rule, what does this actually mean? It means 80% of the time you want to eat healthy. 20% of the time you want to indulge in those foods that you love, the foods that you crave. And when you do this, you're going to psychologically turn off the whole restriction game. The whole thing in your head where it says, oh, I can't have this, but I can have this. All you're doing is you're going to make yourself want whatever you can't have more. And this is going to develop into disordered eating habits, a bad relationship with food, and what do you know it, you're going to end up right back to where you don't want to be, in the diet area. So here's the thing, you guys. In order for you to have food freedom, you first are going to need to understand your numbers and then be able to live by this philosophy of 80-20 rule, having that healthy relationship with food, and actually build your own meal plan so that you can maintain this for life. So when you are able to build your own meal plan and you're able to be like, okay, well, I definitely want ice cream today, so how can I make this fit? It's about knowing your numbers, from the amount of calories you should be taking in to the macronutrients that your body needs, which are carbs, fats, and protein. And when you know these numbers, it's easy after that. So it's truly about going through these 3 levels in order to achieve, guess what, 80% of your results. Nutrition is 80% of your results.